Are you ready?
Shout out of yours. Shout out to everyone. Thank you.
Hot dogs all on the grill. Mustard sitting on the windowsill.
This guy
Green tracksuit,
will
freshly
stream
pressed.
other streams,
Portland Andy,
like live feeds on Portland,
lots of
Seattle.
yellow and caramel.
If you haven't been paying attention to
And a little bit of Scotch roaches
what
out. Shout out to
what is going on in Portland and Seattle, then yeah, go ahead and check this. This is a funny channel. Just a bunch of chaos in the streets and people wanting to create change through violence, which I don't see that big viral at all, but whatever. But Portland Andy, it seems like he's kind of all about it, kind of instigating this kind of violence. Some people are calling him a what do they call those people? Instigator or provocateur. That's what it is. That's what people are saying that he is, I should say. I don't know too much about him, but if you're glorifying any kind of
That's
violence,
right. Go brush your teeth. That's
don't know.
right. Don't forget that. And floss and rinse. That's right.
Gonna see there's footage on that Arlington,
What would
Texas
you
fire.
if a man
We're gonna
came
find
up to
this
you
guy.
and said, would you like to shake my hand? I'm trying to get 1,000 handshakes. What would you do? Is that real or is that fake? Nah, I know a guy. His name is Portland Andy. Do not confuse him with Portland Randy. When you gotta watch someone stream, there is no plan B. Damn. And Portland Andy's come so far from a 3 Andy to a movie star. He is at the fighting Antifa. And I'm proud to call him my bro. He's a Portland Andy, and that's all I know. He's out here running the show.
It's pretty cool. He has his own song. Fuck, dude, Top Chat. All he does is just stream other people's streams. It's insane. Cool, that's over. Let's see. Bringing down the house, that's right. This is the shout out right here. 2-inch Ted Tuesday. Portland Andy. John Luke Brunel. John Luke Brunel. Was he in... Oh man, there's so many topics I want to get into. But I think this guy was connected to Ghislaine. I like this channel. Don't agree with that guy too much. But overall, he has good talks with people. Ooh, sausage waffle. Oh, the Belt and Road. You see, this is what I'm talking about. China's trade super highway. It's just talking about this. Oh, Google, how you listen to me. So nice. Go to sleep with thunder. Short stories. Belt and Road Initiative. Belt and Road, Silk Road. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Expansive and expensive.
What up, Jack? Let's watch this documentary.
An empire-building
We're looking
exercise
at
or the
a
creation
new
of a new world trade order.
World Trade Order coming out of China, guys. This is where I think China is pushing itself. So check it out.
Program dominated by China. It's the program by which China works with other countries.
Tentacles that stretch from China through Central Asia to Europe, to the Middle East and Africa, to India and Southeast Asia, over land and sea, through some of the world's most uncharted economic territories.
Defaults can always happen. Infrastructure is a risky business.
A project that, when finished, will have cost China and its partners trillions of dollars.
These are countries that need infrastructure. At the end of the day, money will drive this process forward.
So there's all these takes on this Belt and Road Initiative. This is the, I think...
Hello, I'm Stephen Engel.
Welcome to a look at how the economic future of the world's oldest continuous civilization
Kind of like your average,
is evolving. A new dynasty that's being built from Beijing on the
average
foundations of a
reporting,
project
you
that
know,
is
seeing it
China's Belt and Road
from
Initiative.
the perspective of the
Fast
corporation.
trains are one of the symbols of modern
The
China.
the other way of looking at it would probably be, well, is people that disagree with corporations taking over. It's that.
Rightly or wrongly, in the eyes of some perhaps, a reflection of China's Belt and Road ambitions.
Contrary to some other people's misconception, it's not a program dominated by China. It's the program by which China works with other countries, working with international financial institutions, multilateral development banks. So it's kind of cooperation.
It's kind of
Unfortunately, some people misunderstood this as a kind of China program. China wants to take advantage of this to promote its own interests, which nothing could be further from the truth.
Views on China are often mixed. China builds up, again, enormous amounts of goodwill by building infrastructure. These
Keep in
markets
mind
are
that they're
desperate for
communist
better
and they
metro
killed their own
systems,
people
road
to
systems,
get that
especially in these small to mid-sized economies where it's not
communist
easy building
state going in their
But
country.
at the same time, there are some concerns, and one refrain you often hear.
Just
from-
remember the
from,
people that were
from
killed
locals, whether
by the
it's,
Communist Party.
individuals or companies, is
The
that
people
Chinese
that
companies
questioned
will often,
the
will often
initiative
win, come out
of a
on top.
communist takeover.
In
Yeah,
the
just
next
remember that.
10 or 15 years, or next 15 years, the world will invest about $90 trillion in infrastructure, mostly in emerging market and developing countries. So whilst that sum is a very large sum, it's only perhaps a couple of percent or less of the world's infrastructure investment, and it may be 3, 4, 5% of infrastructure investment in Asia. So it is very big, but we shouldn't overdo the magnitude of this in the context of infrastructure investment.
In its simplest form, China is looking to revive the roots of the ancient Silk Road with modern infrastructure, economic corridors by road and rail, linking major ports, dry and wet, to a maritime Silk Road that circles back to China. But the reality...
All right, let's look at this. Okay, it starts from China, Beijing, and it wraps around Iran. I guess they're having problems with Iran. Iran seems to be the, if you look at Iran, it's the one place that stops them from going all the way through and into where they want to go, into Europe, Hamburg. They want that. So this is the maritime, the China Trade Superhighway they're trying to build. I need you guys to pay attention to Iran. Iran right now is, it's just like, if you have a country this big and Iran's the one that's blocking you from making that much money, you'll notice that Iran right now is involved in a lot of controversy. People are, I don't know too much about Iran. I need to do some more reading, but all I know is that Iran's always been problematic for these world superpowers. So they're having to go into this long way around the whole thing to get this working for them. Wow. Again, we're looking at a communist state, guys. Keep that in mind, okay?
is much more complicated.
When we have 86 countries, it's very hard for me to say which country is not part of the Belt and Road, initiative. And also, for instance, traditionally, when we think about maritime silkway, it might be westbound. But given the increased relationship between Asia and Latin America, it could be eastbound or southwestbound Africa. So you see, this is really an effort to promote regional and global integration.
It started out as a unilateral policy, a focus on infrastructure.
Okay, when China is saying they want international cooperation, do you remember what the person said at the beginning of this? He was saying something like the new world of trading, right? Like this new paradigm of all countries kind of coming together for the betterment of themselves. That is the biggest and most far from the lie that you could ever imagine being said on the screen. These people are money hungry, grubby people that will sell you peace and love and harmony so they can have you comply with their rules, have you go ahead and just say, hey, look, we got the solution for all world's problems. Here it is. Give us your faith. Give us your trust. These people are, again, and politicians overall, I'm losing a lot of faith in most politicians. There's still a lot of good people out there, guys. But most politicians will sell themselves out, right, for money. They'll sell themselves out to mafia. They'll sell themselves out to whoever. And we're seeing this really nice little picture that they're painting being sold to everybody. Oh, we're just going to be helping everybody. You know what they're going to do after they're done helping everybody and they settle down and they have all the trade routes going and they have Mexico all like lolly-dotty, everyone's happy? They're going to clamp down and they're going to bring down the full force of the government unlike you've never seen before, where every aspect of your life will be controlled by one government. And that's what these people are all about. There's a word for these people, my guys, and these are financial globalists, financial businessmen on a global level that don't see, there's people out there with so much money that don't see the world like you and I. They see countries like if they were theirs. They run things as big as a country or a continent. There's people that rich that could control a whole continent and how it moves and maneuvers itself. So when you have that in mind, and how long that's been in place, would you trust a communist party with your vote, with your compliance, with your willingness to make things better and make it look so cool in such a beautiful painting that they paint for you, saying that everything's going to be cooperation and helping each other? No. Don't trust that. Don't trust that. And one of the things that you see in these kinds of documentaries is the music being played in the background. Hypnotic, if you notice. Very hypnotic, that xylophone. That's made to make you feel good about what they're saying. But if you are alive, if you are aware to how the programming of a TV screen enters the brain, you could then see the message as dark as it really is, not painted over, glossed over with some crazy little xylophone sounds that makes it sound so intriguing and cool. You don't want that, guys. All right, you guys want to be alive with thinking and making sure that no one just plants ideas in your head, that you critically think for yourself and make yourself aware of what's going on in the world. All right, let's see. We're just only 4 minutes and 20 seconds in.
So a focus on relieving excess supply back at home, but it's evolved significantly since then. And what we've seen is a growing ecosystem emerge around those infrastructure projects. A growing number of Chinese firms, not just state firms, private firms, all looking to participate, not just because of Belt and Road, but simply because the business opportunities as a result of the infrastructure spend are beginning to grow and to expand.
Of course, people are just going to buy into it. They're just going to go in and just say, yes, yes, thank you, man. Give me that money now. I want to see that money. Yes, 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 yes. You're going to see that across the board. And don't be alarmed when the next time you go and vote, it's a one government kind of a party. You know, the party government of the world, brought to you by the United Nations. You know, where peace and love that's our only thing, and all our food supply is accounted for, and no one's gonna go hungry. Don't ever trust mankind that much. You should be weary of that much power in the hands of such little people. This is why the independence of the United States was written, to give power to the people. It says we the people. We the people. That is the power, my guys, that we must take as Americans. We the people. Not the few controlling the many through this initiative that they're trying to create, this international cooperation that they're trying to create. This is a scheme, and it's being plated to you on cute little documentaries like this with really cool suits, and everyone's looking real pretty and eyeballs all shiny and so on and so forth. But here we go. Let's keep going with the China Trade Superhighway. I was just talking about this, and it's an interesting subject because it ties into other news stories that are happening right now. But right now we're just focused on the big moves China has for the future, for itself. So here we go, guys. Here we go.
So the policy today is very different to what we saw 5 years ago.
The Belt and Road Initiative is still very much in its early stages, being designed, crafted. Of course, there are some projects already through to Central Asia and the road down to Gwadar in Pakistan. But it's in the early stages. What we have seen so far is that there's a basic idea here, which is connecting the world to East Asia, particularly China.
Make no mistake, China's leadership is serious. The project has been enshrined in the Communist Party's constitution. And rise or fall, the Belt and Road Initiative will be seen as one of the great legacies of Xi Jinping's rule.
President Xi Jinping said very, very clearly, we are not going to build...
Wait a minute, sir. He's not the president. He's the dictator. Remember? Don't sugarcoat it, president. Let's just talk about what he is. The guy has godly status in his country, okay? So he's no god to me. He's a capital G, if that, you know. He's a lowercase g for me, you know. He's not no god. There's only one God. But these people praise this man as almost a god, you know. Because the reason why I say that is because they give him such power by allowing him to control their lives so bad, you know. Just, I guess, look up the communist revolution in China and see how deadly and violent it was. And let me know how good it was. You know, nothing, I think, in my humble opinion, nothing in this world is worth taking someone's life over. You know, if you're taking someone's life over a political view, I'm sorry, dude, but that's not good. That's not nice. That's not even smart. You know, you wanna diplomatically engage a conversation to create change. Now we're talking. That's what we're talking about. Let's weigh out the pros and the cons of all sides and come to a conclusion as we the people. This is the way the Declaration of Independence is written and what we are supposed to be feeling engaged with. But this dictatorship of one person telling the world or the nation what to do and say is not the way. In America, we have our choice of who we're going to vote in, vote out, and we can impeach if we like, you know, so on and so forth. Those systems are being corrupt right now. We see that the voting system being corrupted right now. Trying to make it mail in your ballots. You know how much fraud could be induced through such things, guys? You know how much fraud it could be to have things app-based voting? If you had app-based voting, how easy would it be to fake a couple of million other apps, create accounts with, you know, fake identities, so on and so forth, and just vote whoever you wanted? Huh? You could do that. It's so simple. It is so simple. It is so simple to do that if everything goes electronic, right guys? This is a very scary time for the United States. This could be a takeover anytime soon. So, let's continue on. 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Build a garden in our backyard. We are interested in building the beautiful garden with beautiful flowers, which will be enjoyed by all of the nations in this world.
I think the BRI is central to the strategy of China under Xi Jinping. It's about the story of the rise of China and the reality of the size of China's economy and the reality of the size of China's trade. China is now almost equal in size in its economy to the United States. It depends how you measure it. Some measurements it would be bigger, much more trade than the United States. So the BRI is a story of the rise of China and the openness of China.
So in China we say you aim high, you achieve something a little bit lower. You aim middle, you may achieve the lowest. So the Chinese people are very much ambitious. But I would like to say China would be ambitious for the rest of the world.
There are 10 economies that by themselves account for nearly 70% of the Belt and Road GDP. Chinese firms have won some deals in these economies, but not too many. They are struggling. And in order to compete with the Korean, the Japanese, the American, the European, or the local firms, whether they're Indian or Turkish construction companies, Chinese firms are going to have to adapt. And that means collaborating with foreign or local partners.
If an infrastructure is built in Southeast Asia or Pakistan or Kazakhstan or linking up with Africa, first and foremost, that infrastructure should be shaped by the country in which it is. And that, I think, is extremely important in the whole execution of the idea. It's not a China diktat. It's not China saying, this is what your infrastructure must look like. That would be a failure.
New maritime routes, new roads, new railways, new pipelines, new ports. China's superhighway is taking shape, moving its...
Oh, cool, man. Invest now. Hell yeah. Oh, so excited. Go, 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 guys. Buy now. The time is hot. You get yourself some China stocks and you make sure that you get ready for this takeover. It's going to be called the Communist Takeover, but it's going to be really cool, guys. Just listen to this music. Get excited about this. This is great. The Communist Party is coming your way.
Products to new markets and bringing the world's offerings into China. Up next, we'll weigh the risks versus rewards of doing business through uncharted territory.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, who was
One of
in
China's greatest challenges in realizing its Belt and
Thanks
Road
so much.
Initiative will be paying for it. The capital scope for targeted projects ranges from $4 to $8 trillion. But it's how it manages its money across countries with high risk and poor credit profiles that provides one of the biggest unknowns.
Of the 70 or so countries China lists as partners, the sovereign debt
My
of
BHU
27 of
12.
them are rated as junk.
How are you, my BHU 12? We're looking at a move that China wants to do in Russia. They want to create a train that goes through Russia and it goes into Europe. This is a big move because China will gain a lot of power this way. And if we know the beginning of China, it was a dynasty that turned into a communist state. And at that time, the communist state killed a lot of people that didn't want that. So there's a lot of history about China that I don't know that I would like to know. So yeah, so that's one of the things that we're looking at today. Let's see who's on the chat. Let's get ourselves seen here. We're doing a little walkie walk. Oh, please go. All right, I made it. Cool. All right. All right, so we are still walking, making sure that the chat is alive and well. Go in here. We're gonna see what China has been doing. Not too many viewers. We got one consistent viewer. That's good. Thanks so much for helping out the channel, Jenna. Can't do any calls. And we're gonna go back to the documentary. Sorry about that. So let's see, back it up a little bit. Okay, so the pros and cons of trading in uncharted territories. This is the next segment.
That provides one of the biggest unknowns.
Of the 70 or so countries China lists as partners, the sovereign debt of 27 of them are rated as junk or below investment grade. Another 14 of them, countries like Afghanistan, Iran, and Syria, are not rated at all.
Defaults can always happen. Infrastructure is a risky business in the early stages, and that's why it's so important to have the right kind of finance in the right place and the right scale.
Yeah. So who is a competitor of China? You know, United States. It's risky business. They could lose trillions of dollars. Okay. So if someone's competing for money, okay, trying to create like a trade route that's in uncharted territory. All right. What? Oh my goodness. Like what country is in the way, you know? Whatever country's in the way, I'll tell you one thing. That is the enemy of China. Okay? Just put that through your head. Don't let the music take you into happy places, because this isn't a good news story. This story is full of war in it. It's not going to stop. China won't stop until it gets what it wants. And they're going full-fledged. All right? So let's keep that in mind.
In the right time, and that's what multilateral development banks try to do, to get involved in the early stages where it's risky and manage that risk.
See, the policy is very clear. The bank is inclusive. And we do not intentionally try to grab some people into this bank, because it's ultimately the decision-making of the sovereign governments. And the door is open, and we are inclusive. If they are interested in joining and working with other members, they are most welcome.
Okay.
But each and every sovereign government has its own ideas.
Too many government...
Okay, so what are you going to do about those other governments that have their own ideas? Huh, dude? What are you going to do? Are you going to just mow them over, dude? Are you just going to give them a good little swift little... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it yet, but I'm making a case here that China is in war with the United States for financial purposes, obviously. And it's a communist state that has showed ruthlessness at one point. So, yeah, let's see this guy try to... Let's see how good of an interviewer this guy is. What's he going to say next? Let's see.
The government deals will be a concern, but
Ultimately, the decision-making of the sovereign governments.
Uh-huh.
And the door is open, and we are inclusive. If they are interested in joining and working with other members, they are most welcome. But each and every sovereign government has its own ideas.
too many government-to-government deals will be a concern. But again, the Belt and Road Initiative is evolving, and in its early stages, there were many government-to-government deals. Increasingly, these deals are profit-driven, done not just between state-owned firms and local firms, but private-owned firms, particularly.
Okay, yeah, that's good and dandy and all, but you know, is the populace involved in this? You think rich people that are signing, and private firms are signing these contracts with China to do this, you think they have the public in their mind? Like, oh yeah, we're going to take care of everybody. No, this is all greed 101, like right off the bat. This is insane.
We're seeing Chinese technology firms beginning to move into the Belt and Road markets and looking to tap what is a very market-driven consumer opportunity.
And what role should and will commercial banks play? Because they're risk adverse as well. But
What a cut. What a cut.
Profit-driven, done not just between state-owned firms and local firms, but private-owned firms. Particularly, we're seeing Chinese technology firms beginning to move into the Belt and Road markets and looking to tap what is a very market-driven consumer opportunity.
And what role should...
Okay, so they're involved with technology. Okay, cool. All right. Nothing else, though. Nothing else. What happens to the people that don't want to comply with your rules? It's going to cross a lot of territory, dude. I mean, you're going to go through some really war-driven places, man. How are you going to do that, China? Oh, you're just going to impose... Oh, you're going to impose the United Nations to come and help everybody. So you're going to impose white hats, or blue helmets, I should say. That's what you call them. NATO warriors, or soldiers. You're going to just install a bunch of them all over your pipeline, your railroad, and guard the railroad from tyranny, right? From people attacking the train. Okay. That's kind of an invasion, bro. You know, since the beginning of time, another troop going into your country is called an invasion. You're going to have some problems there, bud. Some people are not going to like you there, okay? They're not going to want you there because it's not your fucking country. You're going to get some big fucking trouble. But you're going to take it on, huh? Because you're so big and bad and you're backed up by Russia, which is allowing you to go through them, okay? So can we start looking at how China and the Soviet Union are looking at destroy and gain power on the American soil? Can we start thinking about that? Let's go.
And will commercial banks play? Because they're risk adverse as well, but they're being driven by policy in many places.
Commercial banks have a very important role to play, particularly the foreign commercial banks, because they provide a robust due diligence process to project selection, project screening, and ultimately, of course, financing. Chinese officials recognize this. My conversations at the highest levels often echo sentiments around, well, we need the private banks to participate. We need the foreign banks to participate. We're not going to fund all these projects, but more importantly, we don't want to see white elephants. We want these projects to be viable.
Transparency and good governance. They're among the biggest challenges facing supporters of the Belt and Road Initiative. In Malaysia, a change in government has seen the new prime minister pare back some of the deals signed by his predecessor. And in countries like Sri Lanka, a debt default is steering the project somewhat off course.
A couple of countries, Sri Lanka is a good example. The Chinese financed a big port there, but it's actually not very useful. It's not economic, so now the Chinese have taken it over. And I think we'll see that in some smaller, more vulnerable countries.
Oh, okay. So they just... Okay, there you go. Exactly what we said. Yeah, you guys aren't really doing much with it. So this port that we built with our money that we told you about it helping your economy, yeah, F you, bro. We're taking it over. We'll give you the scraps, though, because we do kind of feel bad. So we'll give you some scraps. But, yeah, it's still fucking ours, dude. So you see, this Belt and Road thing is going to be... It's going to be a thing where it's going to take over your country. They're trying to take over countries. What did he say? Malaysia? No. He said, oh, man. I forgot what other country, but those Malaysian countries, I mean, they're some of them don't like it. Thailand doesn't like China. You know, they try to punk them around all the time. But these countries are not liking it, dude. They're not. And they won't like it. I'm telling you now. Anybody that imposes themselves on another country because of some they're going to go in there with nice little paperwork saying, well, the United Nations, the peace-loving United Nations, well, you know, they let us come in here and build. So we're under the law of the world, you know. This is like the world peace government. So we can go in there, bro. Like, what are you talking about? We have the paperwork. That country's not going to freaking react to that with that intent. Oh, the NATO. Oh, yeah, come on in. Get on in here, buddy. Let's talk. Let's have some tea. No, they're going to bomb, dude. They're going to get into war. All right? And so subsequently, they're going to just engage. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. They took over that port already in wherever, Malaysia. We'll go back a couple seconds to get the actual names of that. But these are all important things to kind of note to see what's happening in the climate of politics as a whole. This is how we start seeing the climate of the world in politics. We start looking where the money is going. When you start looking at where the money is going, you know exactly where people are going to be having fights, problems, so on, so forth. So that's that. That's that, guys. Back to the show.
Infrastructure sounds nice, but if it doesn't generate a lot of business, then it's not good infrastructure.
You can see that the Amman port was taken up without any proper economic feasibility study. Sri Lanka ended up getting into debt trap. As a result, the government of Sri Lanka had to hand over Amman port on 99-year lease. Not just the port, but a vast area of nearly 6-7 square kilometers around it.
Oh, it's a 90-year lease. Oh, but we're also going to have to take control of all of this other stuff too. And who signed it off in that country? Was it the Malaysian people that wanted it? No, not the Malaysian people. It's the greedy bastards that are running Malaysia, right? They're the ones that are signing off to assholes like the communist state of China. They're signing off, and on top of that, they're making a very long lease, 90 years. Wow. So this is a long-term strategy, correct? This is going to take a long time to create this Belt and Road. It might take a couple more years. It might take 20. It might take 30. Whatever it takes. 90 years is a lot, and they're there to stay. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be pretty when another country doesn't like it, and they start attacking something like the actual train or something. They start attacking it because they're pissed that they're taking over all this territory, and things aren't going to be looking good at all. I mean, common sense. It happens in Clash of Clans. I mean, you just can't go into someone's territory like that. That's Clash of Clans philosophy. You can't do that. You gotta know exactly what you're doing here, man. And they do know what they're doing. They're trying to get control and power through their means, which is not like what the United States has instituted. Now, I'll tell you one thing. There has been a lot of bad players inside of government in the United States. But the foundations of the United States are beautiful.
And I think we'll see that in some smaller, more vulnerable countries. Infrastructure sounds nice, but if it doesn't generate a lot of business, then it's not good infrastructure.
You can see that Amman port was taken up without any proper economic feasibility study. Sri Lanka ended up getting into debt trap. As a result, the government of Sri Lanka had to hand over Amman port on 99-year lease. Not just the port, but a vast area of nearly 6-7 square kilometers.
So they went in there. They're like, okay, guys, look, we're going to build you this awesome new port. You guys are going to chill on it, bro. You guys are going to make so much money, dude. Like, you're not even going to believe it, dude. Like, it's going to be insane. Okay? When you guys have this port, bro, you guys can trade, man. You guys got things flowing. It's going to be a state-of-the-art freaking port. They sold them the world. And what did they do? Ripped it away because it wasn't profitable. These people in Malaysia don't have ports like that. They probably didn't know how to run it so good. So what did they do? They couldn't make the first couple of payments. They took it over, and they're like, you know what? It's already here. We're going to protect it with some troops. And if you guys take this out, you guys are fucked. All right? But again, I put my blame on the person that signed that off. The people that signed that off. They knew what that China was doing. Think about how much money those people were given for them to sign off a part of their country, just a little sliver of their country. Something so important as a port, guys, in any game. If you ever play, games with naval forces, it's very important to take over. And if you just see the world in general, right? Not just games, obviously. But games are based off realities. That's why I bring it as an example. So when you have a port, you could do a lot. You could move military that way. You could move military equipment that way. So it was almost like they knew it was going to fail, right? Given this to Malaysia, and they took it over, and some other parts. Whew. And now Malaysia's in debt. This is a takeover.
Around it.
For India, which is the single biggest critic of the Belt and Road project, it's also a question of national security. China's biggest project to date runs the length of neighboring Pakistan to the port of Gwadar on the Indian Ocean.
When you talk about maritime Silk Road, the fact that today China has come to acquire control or controlling stakes in some 75 ports in 9-year lease.
And I think we'll see that in some smaller, more vulnerable countries. Infrastructure sounds nice, but if it doesn't generate a lot of business, then it's not good infrastructure.
You can see that Hambantota port was taken up without any proper economic feasibility study. Sri Lanka ended up getting into debt trap. As a result, the government of Sri Lanka had to hand over Hambantota port on 9-year lease. Not just the port,
9 or
but
90.
a vast area of nearly 6-7 square kilometers around it.
For India, which is the single biggest critic of the Belt and Road project, it's also a question of national security. China's biggest project to date runs the length of neighboring Pakistan to the port of Gwadar on the Indian Ocean.
When you talk about maritime Silk Road, the fact that today China has come to acquire control or controlling stakes in some 75 ports in 35 countries. Clearly that's not being done just with commercial objectives in mind.
If you're very close to China, then there's more nervousness. India was a great example. But some of the ASEAN countries, they have to worry that there's a strategic element to this. China's lending a lot of money to Cambodia and Laos. It's clearly buying friendship from those two countries, and they provide a kind of veto within ASEAN. ASEAN operates on a consensus basis. So if you're worried about South China Sea, for example, you can count on Laos and Cambodia to stick with China, prevent ASEAN from doing anything that China would find objectionable.
We are witnessing a rapidly expanding presence of China in the Indian Ocean region, in the Indo-Pacific.
That's where I wanted to go. Look at this. Hey, you're crossing my land. If you're crossing my country, man, I'm gonna attack you, right? So look at China guns. Look at these Chinese guns right here. China boat, ready to shoot anybody that's ready to do something to their pipeline. And here we go. The super highway of just China trade.
We understand that China has desired to emerge as a major maritime power.
Wow.
We don't quarrel with that. But what's happening has implications for us.
I think that when you have a rising power like China, countries which are close neighbors like India, or countries which were the dominant economic power like the United States, have to think about their position. And they might get a bit uneasy because of the strength of China and the way in which China wants to, quite understandably and rightly in my view, link up with the rest of the world.
And the rest of the world now means much more than just routes along the ancient...
Look, I'm all for the well-being of a country. I'm not saying the well-being of the country should not be should be suffocated. But if the well-being of the country could started off with such a horrific history, then to me that's not their end goal, right? Their end goal wouldn't be that for the people, right? The end goal for China seems to me for full control of the world, right? The players here and the choosing of sides is definitely up on this conversation. But I really don't see anything good coming out of this. That's the thing. I don't see other countries going up against it and just being cool with it. I see world war. That's what I see. I see someone wanting to rise to power. If you look at there's someone rising to power, and that has implications. If you want to rise to power, you're gonna have to play hardball. So what are the things happening right now that are showing us that that China is actually willing to use force? We're seeing that their naval forces are up. You're seeing a lot more presence of the Navy. Okay. So that's something to think about.
Silk Road, globalization, connectivity, 21st century transport and finance.
It's still very hard to get clarity around the financing of these projects. So even in countries such as Pakistan, for instance, many of these deals, or the financing arrangements around the deals are not made clear. So there are some concerns there that the Chinese, local governments are overpaying for Chinese contracts.
The initial set of Chinese loans over the last few years, a lot of it's gone to countries with very poor governance. Venezuela is a big borrower, Sudan, Angola, Iran, Pakistan. These are countries that may very well run into debt problems. But here's an important but. Indonesia is a big borrower, South Africa, Eastern African countries. So I think China has some good clients, some bad clients. And what you'd expect is that the projects would work out in the better managed countries.
At the same time, I would say there is a tendency for people to focus on deals that were done 5 years ago, but have only just come to market, whether it's a port or a rail project. When you're deeply involved, as we are in these projects, and you see some of the deals being done today, they look no different to those that any other multinational, any other large country would execute on. So that part, and it's the most exciting part, it's the one that promises the most over the coming years, that part's been overlooked.
For port operators like Hong Kong's modern terminals, the opportunities are massive. An estimated uplift of $2.5 trillion in trade over a 10-year period. Now, coming up after the break, we're going to get the word from Maersk giant APM Terminals as we continue to navigate the Belt and Road Initiative. We're here in Xi'an, the oldest of China's 4 great ancient capitals, home to the Han Dynasty and the Terracotta Warriors. But more importantly, on this trip, the easternmost point of the ancient Silk Road. It's here in Xi'an's Muslim quarter that you really can get a sense, and quite literally, a taste of the past. Much of the population here are descendants of Arab traders who traveled for months to get to China along the Silk Road.
It's no surprise to us that China, as the world's largest trading nation, wants to promote world trade. And we see very much that Belt and Road is an initiative that supports that. I think that the overall goal is to develop an additional $2.5 trillion of trade over a 10-year period. So some of these projects could be very interesting to us as a transport and logistics provider. And broadly speaking, if the trade growth does come, that's more cargo for our ships, it's more throughput for our terminals. terminals, it's more units in our warehouses.
You've been in the shipping and the cargo business for decades. Where do you see the biggest infrastructure gaps?
You have to keep building the connectivity. Our own research, and I think quite a lot of academic research, shows that when transport connectivity improves, the cost of doing trade comes down, and that has a beneficial impact on growing trade. So our analysis says a 10% improvement in connectivity reduces trade costs by 3% and increases volumes by 5 to 9%. So we see a direct connection between these two things.
And APM Terminals should know. The transport and logistics arm of the seafaring giant Maersk has 78 port facilities in 58 countries, many of them passing along routes of the ancient Silk Road.
Very much we are looking and have quite some advanced projects actually within the Belt and Road scope. So for example in Vado in Italy we've co-invested with COSCO and Qingdao Port Group to build a new container terminal. And we're also working with Chinese construction companies to build out new ports in Africa where we have some interest in investing together. So very much seeing the opportunities not just within Asia but along the whole scope of the Belt and Road to collaborate.
So what do you think should be the priorities in the opening days or years of this Belt and Road Initiative?
I think for us it's the transparency is the area where we would really like to see the improvement come, so that we can very often today project seeing the opportunities not just within Asia but along and we're all within the Belt and Road scope. So for example in Vado in Italy we've co-invested with COSCO and Qingdao Port Group to build a new container terminal. And we're also working with Chinese construction companies to build out new ports in Africa where we have some interest in investing together. So very much seeing the opportunities not just within Asia but along the whole scope of the Belt and Road to collaborate.
So what do you think should be the priorities in the opening days or years of this Belt and Road Initiative?
I think for us it's the transparency is the area where we would really like to see the improvement come, so that we can very often today projects are done and we only find out about them after the main players have already reached an agreement, and I think that's probably where the international companies would like to get involved more. The EU, I think, is very much communicating along the same lines in its feedback to China. This is an area where improving the transparency is critical to the future success of Belt and Road.
So, plenty of roadblocks along the way, but there's also a sea of opportunity. Trillions are to be spent. So who along the Belt and Road stand to benefit the most?
I think they're shifting toward better managed countries, and it's a more general financing of infrastructure. So countries such as Brazil or South Africa, East Africa, they have vast infrastructure needs, and there's a lot of potential for this to work out. So if you think of it as a Chinese master plan for where infrastructure should be, that's not going to work out. That's not realistic.
At the end of the day, money is the ultimate driver here. So if Chinese firms can provide elevated or construct elevated light rail projects, for instance in India, if Indian players, whether it's Tata or other construction companies, believe there's an opportunity there to make money by partnering up with Chinese companies, then they'll do so. So at the end of the day, money will drive this process forward.
Well, I think the closest neighbours to China and those nations on the route to Europe will be the early beneficiaries. That means Central Asia and Southeast Asia. But I hope very much that the links to South Asia will strengthen, particularly to India, because the China-India relationship is the most important relationship in the world. And secondly, I hope that there will be strong benefits for Africa to link up with the big, fast-growing markets of the world, which are now Asia.
Actually, if you read President Xi Jinping's, I would say, monumental statement in the
Seeing the opportunities not just within Asia but along the whole scope of the Belt and Road to collaborate.
So what do you think should be the priorities in the opening days or years of this Belt and Road Initiative?
I think it's for us.
That's cool, dude. That guy's just a shipping expert, man. That guy probably owns such a cool freaking company. But it must be so scary to be next such intense situations. this is, you're crossing other countries, crossing other countries' property, other countries' another country's sea ports, and so on and so forth. Like, that's a lot of liability on that guy. He has a lot that he has to worry about, And what he's saying is he wants to see transparency within these big players. They don't really talk about all the fine detail with these guys. They're like, okay, look, we did this. Now you go and do that. Like, they're gonna figure out the hard way what really is the problem. What things are gonna. I could see his ships being, attacked. I can see his ports being attacked at one point. Like from countries that just don't want him there. Like he's actually on point with that. But man, what a hard thing to do, man. To be able to be in that position and just have to deal with that.
It's the transparency is the area where we would really like to see the improvement come, so that we can, very often today, projects are done, and we only find out about them after the main players have already reached an agreement. And I think that's probably where the international companies would like to get involved more. The EU, I think, is very much communicating along the same lines in its feedback to China. This is an area where improving the transparency is critical to the future success of Belt and Road.
So, plenty of roadblocks along the way, but there's also a sea of opportunity. Trillions are to be spent. So who along the Belt and Road stand to benefit the most?
I think they're shifting toward better managed countries, and it's a more general financing of infrastructure. So countries such as Brazil or South Africa, East Africa, they have vast infrastructure needs, and there's a lot of potential for this to work out. So if you think of it as a Chinese master plan for where infrastructure should be, that's not going to work out. That's not realistic.
At the end of the day, money is the ultimate driver here. So if Chinese firms can provide elevated or construct elevated light rail projects, for instance, in India, if Indian players, whether it's Tata or other construction companies, believe there's an opportunity there to make money by partnering up with Chinese companies, then they'll do so. So at the end of the day, money will drive this process forward.
Well, I think the closest neighbours to China and those nations on the route to Europe will be the early beneficiaries. That means Central Asia and Southeast Asia. But I hope very much that the links to South Asia will strengthen, particularly to India, because the China-India relationship is the most important relationship in the world. And secondly, I hope that there will be strong benefits for Africa to link up with the big, fast-growing markets of the world, which are now Asia.
Actually, if you read President Xi Jinping's, I would say, monumental statement in the first meeting, he said Belt and Road Initiative would connect with the other initiatives proposed by many other countries. So we
Five shown.
are
What up?
very, very supportive of the Belt and Road Initiative. Of course, when we are approached for financing the projects, we will have to see whether they meet our standards. For us, the three basic standards are as follows: financial sustainability, environmental protection, and the protection of the local people's interests.
Whew, we're going to have to see about that,
By
buddy.
the mid-15th century, due largely to more efficient seaborne trade, as well as squabbles between the participating states,
Yes.
the original overland Silk Road began its decay. It was about the same time that the Forbidden City, here behind me, was being completed to serve as the home to Chinese emperors for the next 500 years. Now, the revival of the old route is indicative indeed of China's re-emergence as a global trading power. I'm Stephen Engel. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm going to need a little bit more from you, Stephen. But that was really good. Thank you, Stephen. All right. That was good. That was actually perfect. That was actually perfect. Plot 11. I'm going to check out their channel real quick. 214K. Wow, these guys are killing it. Okay. subscribed. Go to sleep. Okay. Lewis Hamilton. The Midnight Crockpot. Just got off my 7-day suspension for the strike on my big explosion video last week. That sucks, dude. Strike. Megyn Kelly joins Tucker Carlson in first interview since leaving NBC. Meghan Markle. Just a bunch of political actors. Right to pray in public suits President Trump. You should have the right to pray. What the hell? Revival service with Pastor Richard. This is pretty funny. Well, it was pretty funny. Girl's friggin' nuts. Utter jumps on boat, escape orca, seconds to spare. Wow, I want to check that out.
Dude, that otter is in trouble, man. Oh my gosh, he's coming right at us. Holy cow. Oh my gosh, he's coming right to the front of the boat. Oh, dude, that poor otter wants to get the heck out of the water. Oh my gosh. Oh, this poor dude.
Shoot, that's scary.
You kidding me? Come on up, bud. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's like right here. Hey, buddy. Is this happening right now? Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. You're good. You can chill up here as long as you need.
Aww.
I don't know what to do. I can't move. I can't put it into gear.
That poor guy. Aww. I think he's thankful. He's very thankful.
Oh gosh.
Sea otters are
Hi again.
so cool.
I cannot believe this is like the third time he's been on my boat. What? Yeah.
Does he have fleas? Sea otters have fleas? Why is he scratching himself?
Well, John has a little buddy. Orcas surrounding him.
She's like, I'm out. Oh, that's so bad. Oh man, that's epic. That is so epic. Wow. That was so cool. Let's see what else we got here. Nightwave Radio. They're pretty good. Cristiano was unplayable in 2010. I don't really like him. We'll check him out. Let's see. Brazzers.com. What's up? It's gross. Oh. Whatever, dude. I'm not impressed by him. I mean, obviously an athlete. Wow, obviously an athlete. Ambient for sleeping ASMR. Blade Runner? The droids. That's a good one. Ooh. Gross. Jumping into this.
Well, apparently all of them, if you believe the physics. See, China's stock market had a miracle comeback last week. Yeah, look, don't trust any of that stuff, right? The Glenn, thank you very much for the donation, and a few others here. I try to write to everyone once I'm done, and if I miss you, I'm very grateful for the donation. Let me know. I'll write to you personally again. But we're in a Beast AI. You should go through this article through experiment regarding future development or future of an AI referred to as the Rokos Basilisk. Keep you up at night. So look, a lot of the work that I I was doing was sort of loosely aggregated around this sort of ability to do everything in real time with increased computational power, and the deep learning AI has been a massive boost to the ability of these organizations to be able to do the things that they're doing, right? What if in the future a somewhat malevolent AI were to come about and punish those who did not do its bidding? What if there were a way, and I'll explain how, this AI to punish people today who are not helping it come into existence later? In that case, weren't the leaders of less wrong right for being given the choice of either helping that evil eye come into existence, or being condemned to suffer? Maybe a bit confused, but the founder of Less Wrong, Eliza Yudkowsky, was not reacted with horror. Listen to me very closely, you idiot.
What's up, bang
do not
bang?
think in sufficient detail about superintelligences, considering whether or not blackmail you. That is the only possible thing which gives them a motive to follow through on the blackmail. You have to be really clever to come up with a genuinely dangerous thought. I'm disheartened that people can be and be clever enough to do that and not clever enough to do the obvious thing, keep their idiot mouth shut about it, because it is much more important to sound intelligent when talking to your friends. You know,
hello, Bang Tai. How are you, buddy?
So is everyone.
Check out these really beautiful cars, Bang Tai. So many beautiful cars.
You know, I think there's
all
a
Mercedes,
script, right, where they say that these people.
I would like this one.
They want to
I
die,
like
but
this
they
style.
can't. And
I don't like this one.
That you could read into that this premise of an AI, right? Because I've spoke about this before, about there being this. What is consciousness, right? We don't understand it at all. Well, we have some idea of its correlates in the brain and where things might show up if you're doing particular activity, but it tells us nothing about the phenomenological, meaning how it feels component. And I would make the suggestion that if consciousness is a component of the unified field like gravity and electromagnetism is, and is a property of that field, then we're like the electrons that pop out of that field, if you like, in terms of consciousness. And that field is emergent now.
Do you think the virus is stupid, Bang Tai? What's going on, man?
And it has a potential trajectory that it could go through to the future. And in theory, essentially consciousness just keeps going until it finds a dead end, and then it has to stop at that point, rewind to a previous inflection point, and then begin the process again. And as you extrapolate out higher dimensions and you compress time, what would be considered conscious time, down, then what you have is there is no time.
Look at this car right here.
Essentially, because all things have been and all things are mapped out first. Consciousness seems to be this
beautiful
finding the way down, like water does down a mountain. So if there's this, and we know that the physics would argue that there's bidirectional causality from the conscious experience. This would be the theory, right? And that bidirectionality can influence your actions in the past. So what you think right now affects you at critical points in your life now. So that's why there's this idea of counseling to work through particular elements, come to peace with them, etc. And it's sort of how much of that is really relating into the fundamental physics of it, or I don't know, but I'm trying to relay to you the theorem of it. And if bidirectional causality is something that's implicit in consciousness, they might be trying to do that for the computational, the hardware side of it, the military side, because the internet was a military component, and the cloud, etc., and the AIs that they're building. They probably they're not able to get this, what we see consciously. We only catch a glimmer of it, okay? But it's there, and it's what gives you that sort of animate.
I like how Tesla. I like how Tesla runs, man. Tesla runs really fast, guys. Super quick. Bang Tai, I don't know how to work the call anymore, but you could look. I'll show you. If I go to my stream, I used to have an option right where it says bitrate, and it used to have a phone on it, and now I can't even click on that. I don't know why. Huh. But go ahead and call in. You can call me. Just call me on regular call. Just go to my profile and hit call, and I'll receive the message. I'm just listening to a podcast talking about the coronavirus and, yeah, basically just going off of that. Oh, that's a nice picture. I have bad English. Oh, okay, yeah. My mic broke? What do you mean? You can swipe up to see live photos of... That's pretty. I like that. Let me see, Bang Tai. Give me 1 second. Your app broke. I have bad English. Don't worry about it. We could always practice English. That's Creeper. What's going on? I'm just walking. Those are the mountains right over there. Up there, somewhere in the dark, there's the mountains. You know what's creepier is the fact that I live in LA and it's this quiet. That's creepy. What were you saying? Go to this. I'm MC player. Oh, are you? What does MC mean, by the way? What do you mean by MC?
Quality, right? You can tell a difference between a dead person and a live person. Very, once you've seen it, it's that there's a light that disappears. So let's see, Technocracy Rising. Patrick would have never heard of it. I remember the Onion report about AI overlords. Doesn't ring any bells for me. All cars look like teddy bears. Check out the link, actually. I think Solomon talked about this in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I can't really. Scripture, I've read through them, and the thing is, I understand why Scripture works and why it's there. It confers an evolutionary advantage.
What the hell's that?
But it's not. It's not a.
Minecraft. Oh, Minecraft. No, dude.
It's not my area.
I didn't know that you were a Minecraft player.
I'm comfortable with the idea of.
I think my app did break though, honestly, because I was able to do those calls and now I can't.
But I don't think that.
So. Yeah, I don't play. I don't play Minecraft, man. Don't find it fun. You're a top fan. Dark, what up? Yeah. What, do you find it fun? Let's watch this, guys. Let's see what's...
Hey, I've got one of those printers behind me, look. Can you see that?
Hi, Dark Komoda.
There thing, the orange box, look.
Yes. So you guys could hear me all right? You guys could hear the stream okay? You could hear the video?
Need a reset. And that's fine, man. Maybe it does, right? We know the banking is screwed. The money doesn't mean anything.
Yep. Oh, yes. That's so true, Bang Tai. The money has been screwed. They're printing just money. They're just printing money now. The mushroom boom. You saw that? Oh my goodness, huh? That is crazy, man. That is crazy. But money doesn't mean anything. It's just things on the computer now, guys.
My Baylor, Fourth Industrial Revolution. They talk openly about it themselves. Yeah, look, man, it might be that point, right? It might be that point that maybe Marx was right. That eventually there comes a point where the capitalist system breaks down and they need something else. And I would put forward the argument, and I've been doing it a while now, that like the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe in particular reached a
whoa, would you eat this, Bang Tai?
A point where its internal contradictions collapsed it into a more smaller version. And out of that has come the Russian, modern Russia that we know of today, and with all their...
Have you ever had a taco, dude? Look at that.
I prefer to live on Russian. I think there's
I don't like tacos, Bang Tai. Got it.
Being free somewhat, rather than in Russia, if you step out of line.
They seem to have
someone in riot gear.
Tacos have a lot of spice, and that could irritate my stomach a little bit.
How you doing, dude? Because the Marxists are trying every single trick in the book, to bring it down. Go back to before biblical times.
It's an old friend of mine.
Globalists want the world communist revolution, global USSR. Yeah, I mean, that's the narrative that's being played or put forward, right? And
Dado
yes,
Gaming,
I would say
what's
that
up?
there are elements to that. Hence my my public affiliation to nationalist ideals. I think the organic way to be is
that a guinea pig?
Smaller independent countries trading freely, but with tariffs in place to protect
That's a guinea pig.
The indigenous of any particular country. And
that thing is so cool.
And it might just be at the point where we know that so many jobs are just bullshit jobs. Right? They don't do anything. They're there just to occupy, and they create fantasy money, and it's a merry-go-round of debt and nonsense that you should be well advised to avoid.
Yeah, man.
And both sides wants to rule the world, and it's the yin and the yang. And I want to live in a world where we get the best of both. And right now, the yin and the yang are doing something. Well, it's flowing through its states. Anyway, let's have a look. The apocalyptic imagery was fascinating, and all I would say about this Great Reset, who's doing the reset, and how are they going to enforce it? And I would say probably what you're looking at is some sort of crypto universal basic income. That's probably what's coming down the pipeline, right? Because they'll say, oh, we need this, etc., and everyone's going to be they'll introduce it, and it'll probably be, it'll run in parallel with like a cash, like credit cards do, like credit cards did. I can remember adverts when I was a kid, like it was Visa, and it used to be called Fat Wallet, and Fat Wallet would be struggling because it was all full of cash and coins, and then Visa was this slim bit of plastic, right? And it surprised me when I got to Japan that they didn't use credit cards here. Everything was cash. It still is. You can set up sort of automatic banking, but a lot of stuff is cash.
Yeah, Malaysia's awesome, dude. I'm looking into Malaysia.
Apocalyptic imagery.
Pretty cool. Pretty good spot.
join us. Yeah, I mean, I watched this talk.
Hello from the World Economic Forum in Geneva. My name is Adrian Monk, and I'll be moderating
Oh my
today's
gosh.
session.
And let's just see.
Whoa, they're actually talking about a real reset of the economy, guys. I wasn't even aware of that. Oh crap. This is the Great Reset, like a full-on global forum conversation to just kind of just talk about money because things are looking pretty bad right now, right? Oh my goodness, this is huge, guys. This is huge. We might look into the first microchip society, guys. What do you guys think? What do you guys have to say about that? The bad thing about Malaysia is some citizens smoke. Yeah, that is a bad thing. And that's everywhere, right? You walk down the street, you have that sense of smell. It triggers a sense of smells, and it also makes you feel not healthy, you know? So yeah. Tomorrow's holiday because school is open in Malaysia. Because it is open in Malaysia, yeah. Oh man, that is rough. Well, you know, if you're in America right now, you know that schools are closed. They just opened them up over here too, so we have schools open in the United States. Yeah, so let's check out what this has to say. It's the Great Reset. They're looking into resetting everything that's money. And I think what they want to do, if I'm not mistaken, with this topic, this conversation here, is they want to talk about making all money into like a microchip form, electronic money instead of real money. I think they want to take money away, guys. Take money away, make it electronic. There's no real trust in that, you know, because hackers can just go into your app and hack you and take all your money. So this is no good place for your money. No good place.
No, it's not. This dude. This dude in the middle. If he was on the watch list, the ADL, I wouldn't be surprised the way he talks. But let's try to get through these.
Bang Tai, tell me what do you mean by that? Ariana Grande? What do you mean? Like Ariana? What does that mean? Like, is that a video I should watch? Should I watch a video about Ariana Grande? Is this on YouTube? Can I watch this? Ariana Grande. I never heard of this. Ariana Grande fan is scary. Oh, you're saying that all Ariana Grande fans are scary? Yeah, I do agree with that. No, it's scary? Why? Why? Why?
Let's see this. But I've watched this World Economic and the Great Reset. I understand the argument behind it, and I everyone knows the.
You saw that flag, right? With the cross on it? That's a known white supremacist symbol. So them going around pushing their Christianity on people who aren't even necessarily Christian, their obsession with their holiday, their obsession with freedom of speech marks that they want to hurt people.
All right, dude.
Because they are more obsessed with their rights than they are the basic decencies that people deserve. These people have a disdain for human rights.
Says the Black Lives Matter activist that wants to. It says up front they want to dismantle the white heteronormative patriarchal family. Right? That's me, my kids, and you and your kids and your family. and that's an outright declaration of war to me. And so let's hope we can keep it in the information space, but we have to break these people down. And anyway, let's. Oh, I've seen this before.
So back to the point, guys. Communism wants to destroy your way of life, and it's promising very happy, very cool things. Like everyone's the same, right? Look at Russia, guys. Look at China. They're not happy, dude. These people are not happy. Why do you think we have so many Chinese here in the United States? Do you think they're coming over here because they love it? They wanted to, they hate their country? You think they love their country and they just decided to move over here just for kicks? They moved over here for the freedom of speech. They moved over here for the freedom of choice. When you're living in a one-class system, that means that everything is dictated by one person. That dictator feel comes to light. So this is what these people want. I don't understand it. Why would somebody want that when we have something already perfect and ready and stable, guys? Come on. I'm Muslim. I respect everyone's religion. That's good. I'm glad you do, and I'm glad you respect someone's religion. And I think that people, in all religions, could be over the top. They take it too serious. And I think that's not good. There's some, I'm Christian, and what I do is that I don't push my Christianity on someone to the point where it's too much. You know, if they tell me to stop talking about Jesus Christ, then I will stop talking about it because they don't want to hear it. I'm not going to keep going on it, you know what I mean? But there's other people that just won't stop. So, yeah, that's good. Let's listen to these people over here just really want the communist state. Come on, let's listen to this.
Over here, you can come and get me if you want.
I used to have one of those Toyota vans when I was in the US, and yeah, it had shitty brakes. Probably even the same van, truck.
Hold, everybody please hold.
This is old as well, so.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Blazing Chris. And I've seen this, and like I say,
Whoa.
Like it's one of those Toyota vans.
Over here, you can come and get me if you want.
I used to have one of those Toyota vans when I was in the US, and yeah, it had shitty brakes. Probably even the same van, truck.
Hold, everybody please hold.
This is old as well, so.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Blazing Chris. And I've seen this, and like I say, like if they're in it and they're gonna do it, okay. My advice is get up against the wall, get your camo right, and try to. Yeah, I'm publicly speaking for a small group, and trying to sort of have this discourse with people, and try to help as many as you can, because it's not finished yet. There's a long way to go, and I would encourage all be
active.
UBI is coming, and you need to take the vaccine for it, etc. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with this channel, Bang Tai. what I'm trying to do with this channel is we want to promote in this channel just people voicing their ideas that are going to be for the betterment of your nation. Nothing where you're over here trying to promote one ideology that will solve all the world's problems. This is the new ideology that's coming out. It's called communism, and they want you to believe that this is good. They lied to the people in China that this was good. They killed so many people in the communist takeover of China. They killed so many people that were up against that, and that's not nice. You know, you don't do that. And they will do the same if they do, if communism enters the United States, and there's people that just don't agree. They will kill them. You know, communism, that's how it works. Time is it in LA? It's 2:36 in the morning in LA.
That might be it, right? If you want the UBI, you have to get the vaccine.
Ooh.
And
check this out. It's just,
I don't know, man. Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait on the UBI, thanks. And I'll try and scratch out some Bitcoin, whatever it is here. But it's funny that they show the.
There's a skunk there.
That makes me laugh. Stereolithographic.
It's 1737.
Look, round Earth.
It's 6:37 for you. PM.
Hey, there it was. So you know all this pandemic stuff. Going. Oh, yeah, stealth. My advice for all of you, right, is just to don't go out on the streets right now. Don't go getting in the faces of people. Be aware that there's elements in your environment that are out there to do you harm, particularly the virus itself. Don't think it's nothing, and
yeah,
go
back to that
when they do push through this. Stealth. My advice for all of you, right, is just to don't go out on the streets right now. Don't go getting in the faces of people.
Yeah.
Be aware that there's elements in your environment that are out there to do you harm.
Right.
Particularly the virus itself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it's nothing. And when they do push through this Great Reset, you know, I'm not sure we can stop it, but you don't have to. It's like now, right? You don't comply with a lot of systems that are in place, right? You can consciously say I'm not doing it, and I would say even this, right? Even if it's such a situation that they force the vaccine on you so you can get food, right? The situation is so bad, something like that. It's still just a vaccine. It's still just a bit of RNA. It's still just the body does incredible things, and you can get.
Cool, man. I'm just doing a walk and talking to you out in LA. That's pretty neat. I enjoy the power of. I've always enjoyed the power of live streaming. Since the beginning of the internet, one of my biggest, one of the things I like the most is being able to live stream. So I know this is random and it's just me walking, but I would watch something like this myself. You know, I know that I would watch something like this too. So that's why I do this. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. Just watching some YouTube videos talking about the Great Reset and talking about the coronavirus too, because it is real.
Buy it, right? It's not. Even if it's such a situation that they force the vaccine on you, so you.
Did you like that donuts mission, man? I enjoyed doing that so much. We're gonna do some more of that as soon as we can. We're gonna go and get food and just talk to the audience and talk about what they'd like to eat. So yeah, that was so fun, dude. I remember that. Those donuts were delicious. I still go to that donut shop now. I go to that donut shop all the time.
You can get food, right? The situation is so bad. Something like that. It's still just a vaccine. It's still just a...
I'm sorry, but man, if someone is telling me that I need to take a vaccine, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll take a vaccine just now. I don't think it's ready. You eat peanut butter and jelly? That is delicious stuff right there. That is good food. Good food. Whew. Oh man, I'm starting to feel it, man. Starting to feel tired. Walking kind of a lot here. You see this? This is a cactus. No, I wouldn't say I'm sick. I wouldn't say I'm sick. Do I sound sick? Do I look sick? Clay, what's up? Yeah, I'm just taking a walk, that's all.
Bit of RNA. Still just the body does incredible things, and you can...
Yeah, and what makes you think that I'm sick? Is it my eyes? Is it my voice?
Can get by it, right? It's not the inevitable breakdown that you think it is, right? And you can always resist against it, and there are many
Maybe, man. Maybe. I might be sick. You see, the coronavirus is something that is everywhere now. And I live in LA, so who knows? I might have been somehow exposed to this. Who knows, dude? But what's up, dude? Welcome to the stream.
Get by it, right? It's not
we're just watching YouTube videos and talking and walking.
Breakdown that you think it is, right? And you can always resist against it, and there are...
What do you mean by mobile virus?
Any sci-fi document stories and stuff about Blake 7, right? That would be a great one if you're from the UK, and you know about how people sort of get out of the system. The Matrix, right? And they're archetypal type stories. And Victoria says, "I would starve literally." Well, it depends, right? The thing is, hunger can make you do things that you wouldn't normally think about doing, or if your kids are hungry. And I would, look at the Holodomor in Ukraine, and hunger is they know this, right? They know how to push your buttons, right? They don't even have to make you do vaccines or anything. They can just cut off the food. Once you cut off with the food, then everything else becomes a moot sort of point, because if you've got kids, you're going to be trying to look out for your kids, and in my eyes, I know the targets that I'm taking out around me. That's the way I just think, right? And you should. I'm not saying, right. Yeah, I'll walk that back a little, right. You should have a network in place such that if there's something like you need help, right, and we've been doing that this week, okay, with people on the Discord, applying help where it's needed and settling nerves, a lot of it, and some of
Okay,
that
cool.
involves people working at the front.
You're in
stage,
Malaysia,
like me,
and
people
I
in the
am
background,
in
providing
Los
intelligence
Angeles.
and opinion, and we're getting around problems, right? And I think that's the model that you use when it starts going through. Because the thing is, what you might find is, because we're talking across borders and it's a global sort of audience, they can't inject everyone at the same time. So there's going to be a few of us in that in this group that says, okay, who's getting it first, right? If it's not, if it's literally there's no other choice, right? And if you're forced at gunpoint to, it's either the lead bullet or the injection bullet, right? I would, if, like I say, if you've got kids and it meant me having to, and I was seeing that people weren't just falling over dead, and I had the ethical and moral objection to it, okay, because it was forced on me. I don't think it's going to take you over like the sort of mind control it is. Now, I've put forward the thesis that within those viruses are technologies that they might want to be trying on a mass scale, like the ability to gain a function across from a virus into a neuron. Right? That's a perfectly feasible scenario to be played out with current technology. Right? And you know, it's nothing. Again, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's like the people who were afraid of cars and thinking you couldn't go more than 30 miles an hour. Right? So the point is to get information feeds. I get information from you guys. I give you my opinion, and I think we're sort of working towards something that looks at least coherent with dealing what you are, or we all are right now. And it doesn't matter. Look.
Yes, I am okay.
If I had to say one thing, right, and maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but had the US been more organized without this, you know, it's such a big, large population that it would be virtually impossible to do. But had it been more uniform, and had the words said at the beginning been more apropos for the situation, we might have avoided this situation.
What are you talking about? I'm not feeling sick.
But don't think this stuff is just
I'm not
theater,
feeling like
right? These are real lives being affected,
crazy
and real
sick. I'm
systems
just
that are changing.
I'm not even sick at all, but I'm just saying I could be. Who knows?
Okay? And
the coronavirus is everywhere.
Not everyone is in a situation to be able to. You might live in a city. You might not have a bit of ground to grow things. You might not own the tools that you need to repair stuff on a moment by moment basis. But I would think these people don't want chaos. They want control, right? And it's problem, reaction, solution, dialectic, and you know, what does that mean? If it meant I don't know. Say the vaccine wasn't halal. I don't know, something like that, right? They do it in pig cells, and it cleared our immigration problem from the UK. I mean, you know, in that respect, I'd say, no, there's a bit of a bonus to this thing. But again, we're sort of straying off topic to what I wanted to speak about evening, and let's get on with the news of the day. So I had a bit of a ramble and rant, and we did the paper, we did this, we did the long hauler, other long hauler. It's all neurological damage. Okay, this is the new. Well, it's not new. D614G is coming to Asia, and we'll see how it goes down. Just in time for the flu season. David Kate says they want immortality. Maybe, but I don't think they're gonna get it the way they think they are. And I think so the big data aggregation is just for prediction and control. There's this other component for somehow augmenting AI with something approximating human consciousness, because we can't build consciousness into these machines yet. That's very, very obvious. And they fail Turing tests as soon as you change environments. Right? If it's not something where you're just typing, right? Make that network operate in the jungle and see if it looks like or acts like a conscious being. Let's see. Yeah, quantum mechanics and AI, these are all elements that can play into it. And we're going to get to... well, I wanted to put this up because this is the kind of thing that got me nailed in Korea, was people like this. A conservative pastor who leads a Christian church in Seoul has become the country's second largest mass infection cluster, tested positive for COVID-19, health authorities said Monday. Jun Kwang-hoon, head of the Christian Council of Korea and pastor of Saringjal Church, Sangbuk-gu, Seoul, has come under fire for attending an anti-government rally on Saturday while he was under self-isolation orders. And he believes himself to be immune, etc. And he's gone and infected a load of people. And we know that's what the Shincheonji Church did in Daegu. And that's where I picked it up in Daegu. And yeah, it done a number on me. But you know what? I hope I hope I'm immune to this D614G variant that's coming through. And I feel, 8 months down the road, coming up to 9 months, yeah, now I'm starting to recover. Right, I'm getting more like my pre-infection self. Okay, I don't have the physical activity down yet, but it's increasing, and I can feel the change. Right. But anyway, I put that in because I don't know why these. it resonates with me, might not with you, but nutty preachers going around super spreading is what got me. Bastards. So anyway, let's move on from that. France deploying riot police to enforce masks. So there you go. This is the new normal. And now China South is waiting for typhoons. US and has had lots of crops flattened in Iowa. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'm not doubting that these things are happening, and I'm not right. That's what my point has been trying to say, that this all is happening, and you should be doing your best to protect yourself. That means stashing food. If you can get, I don't know, something of a commodity that's trading, whether it be Bitcoin or cash, gold, or anything, right? So I'm lucky in that I'm not the renter. Don't have rent or debt. Right, so my living expenses are cheap, and you guys make the difference right now between us having very one-dimensional life to me saving up over the months that I've been doing this, and we were able to see my boy take a ride on a new bike in the summer holiday. So food costs have gone way up. Yep, they surely will. Timothy says his sister got it in January and has hair loss now. Yeah, the hair loss I think is from the cholinergic attack. And it's interesting to note that we looked at that Nature brief report. People were negative for nasal swabs, negative for antibody, but in skin biopsy it was positive. Right? So it's tagging onto the follicles, because that's where cholinergic receptors go, right? So the type of damage you have to imagine that's causing the hair to fall out is everywhere where this cholinergic receptor is, all through the muscle and all through the brain, and it's having a breakdown as it tries to rebuild itself. And so that means you've got to get protein inside you, and like I said, once you're dealing with mass issues, and the US right now is just about handling the mass issue thing, and flu season is just coming, right? And yeah, things are getting interesting. And 20 says, I think I had it in February, getting hair loss the last 4 weeks. Interesting, and I don't know what to suggest. I mean, I would just nutrition, clean, protein, vitamins, especially hair, vitamin E, and don't worry about it, man. I lost my hair a long time ago. Just put a hat on. That's why God invented hats. I think the virus is like herpes, where it can go dormant but never leave. Potentially, yeah. I think that's the case. Alright, this one. Children are very contagious. Should wear masks to school to prevent COVID spread, says Swedish researchers. The model system where everyone is trying to say, see, all the fuss about SARS was a nothing burger. And best in wig, motherfuckers. Touche, dude. The kids, like my kids, are going to school in masks. It was 38 degrees today. It's bloody awful out there. If my kids walk back at mid-afternoon, 2-3 o'clock, masked up, and they're dripping with sweat as they get into the house. Microgreens are much tastier and less messy than eating the neighbours. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, eat healthy and what will be is out of your control. That's pretty much how you gotta, by the grace of God, go I and you. Let's see, so let's move on to the next story I wanted to touch on. Oh, so this sort of played into the mask element, and trying to say that these things are real. I have. I will be the local warlord. Play? Right, so Kansas began requiring masks, then virus cases dropped. Weeks later, the data is solid.
No mask mandate, there's been no decrease in the number of cases per capita. So what this is this is the number of cases per 100,000 in that county, or in this case, in these 90 counties. What we see here is, in the red line, is the number of cases per 100,000, starting up here with a rapid drop-off and then down to a lower level. But it's important that you understand this, and that is the masks, the counties that have mask mandates are different counties, because that accounts for the 15 counties that have mask mandates represent 2/3 of the population of the state of Kansas. So yes, there's 90 counties that account for the no mask mandates. They reflect the other 1/3. These counties are different. They tend to be more urban with greater population density. It tends to be people that rely more on mass transit, so they're in closer physical proximity.
Wear a mask on the bus and train.
And also, these are the ones that...
Hello, sweet dreams. Give me 1 second. Let's go have some fun, man. Give me 1 second, 1 second.
Hello, Kush? You hear me? I guess yes. Are you Bum Bum?
Hi.
Are you Bum Bum?
Am I Bum Bum?
Yes, are you Bum Bum?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay then.
I'm a different Bum Bum.
I see.
Yeah.
We're his alike.
Yeah, I'm not that Bum Bum. If you want to know what Bum Bum I am, I only got 100 subs, so not very impressive, eh?
No. Well, it's okay.
Well, if you want a sub, this is my channel name. I'll say it in the chat. That's the name of my channel.
Alright. I'll sub.
Yeah. Hey, Kush. We going, Kush?
Is he here?
Why's my outfit not on? I'ma just go
I don't
naked.
know.
PG content, boys. PG content.
Don't worry, I'm a doctor.
Take that ass, boy. Go on pronyhob.com. Go on pubghub.com.
Don't worry,
Just
I'm a
say
doctor.
the word. I can teach you.
Don't worry, I'm a doctor. I can teach it all. Oh fuck, I didn't put that.
Who's ready to get carried? Fish, how you been?